Bill Clinton facing questions from House Oversight Committee in its Epstein probe. Hillary Clinton gave a deposition to the committee on Thursday. Former President Bill Clinton is facing questions from the Republican-led House Oversight Committee on Friday with a deposition underway as part of its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein and Chappaqua, New York, marking a historic moment for a former president. He is set to be questioned under oath about his relationship with Epstein and photos that show the former president with both Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's co-conspirator who was sentenced to 20 years in prison for sex trafficking and other crimes. Friday's deposition is the first time a former president has appeared in front of a congressional panel since former President Gerald Ford in 1983. The former president's testimony comes a day after the committee questioned former Secretary of State and First Lady Hillary Clinton over the couple's dealings with the convicted sex offender. In her deposition Thursday, Hillary Clinton said she did not know Epstein, could not recall ever encountering him, and never visited him on his island or at his home or office. Hillary Clinton, on Thursday, also gave a preview of how her husband, former President Bill Clinton, will handle his own deposition. "I think it is fair to say that the vast majority of people who had contact with him before his criminal pleas in 2008 were like most people, they did not know what he was doing. And I think that that is exactly what my husband will testify to tomorrow," she said. Hillary Clinton said after her deposition that the committee asked her over and over if she knew Epstein. She said there were also questions that were off subject about UFOs and the debunked Pizzagate conspiracy. "So if they are going to fulfill their responsibilities to literally investigate the investigations, which is what they originally said was the scope of their work, I think they could have spent the day more productively," she said. Neither Bill Clinton nor Hillary Clinton has been accused of wrongdoing, and both deny having any knowledge of Epstein's crimes. No Epstein survivor or associate has ever made a public allegation of wrongdoing or inappropriate behavior by the former president or his wife in connection with his prior relationship with Epstein. No one is accusing, at this moment, the Clintons of any wrongdoing, Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said Thursday morning ahead of Hillary Clinton's deposition. "They're going to have due process, but we have a lot of questions, and the purpose of the whole investigation is to try to understand many things about Epstein." Bill Clinton's association with Epstein was first noted publicly in 2002 after reporters learned of the former president's flight that year on Epstein's jet for a humanitarian mission to multiple African nations. Bill Clinton told New York Magazine through a spokesperson at the time that Jeffrey is both a highly successful financier and a committed philanthropist with a keen sense of global markets and an in-depth knowledge of 21st century science. Maxwell said in a recorded interview last year with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche that it was she, not Epstein, who had a friendship with Bill Clinton, and that she was the one who suggested and organized his trips on Epstein's aircraft. The Clintons were subpoenaed to appear under oath in front of the committee for a deposition in January, but failed to comply, arguing the subpoenas were without legal merit. Rather, they proposed a 4-hour transcribed interview instead. David Kendall, the Clintons' lawyer, argued that the couple has no information relevant to the committee's investigation of the federal government's handling of investigations into Epstein and Maxwell, and should not be required to appear for in-person testimony. Kendall contended the Clintons should be permitted to provide the limited information they have to the committee in writing. Comer had long threatened to hold the Clintons in contempt if they failed to appear before the committee, so when they didn't, a contempt resolution was drafted and put to a vote. The Oversight Committee passed the contempt resolution with 9 Democrats voting in favor of it, teeing it up for a full House vote. At the last minute, just before the resolution was to be voted on in the House, the Clintons agreed to sit for a deposition, postponing further consideration of a contempt vote. Democrats on the committee said they hoped this week's testimony from the Clintons spark Republican committee members to investigate more of Epstein's ties to President Donald Trump. Trump has repeatedly denied any knowledge of Epstein's crimes and has said that he cut off contact with his former friend more than 20 years ago. While the Clintons have agreed to speak with the committee behind closed doors, they have still pushed for public hearings as part of the committee's investigation. "I will not sit idly as they use me as a prop in a closed-door kangaroo court by a Republican Party running scared," Bill Clinton wrote in a lengthy post on X. "If they want answers, let's stop the games, do this the right way in a public hearing, where the American people can see for themselves what this is really about." You have reached the end of our in-depth report. For more deep dives, please subscribe to Neuron News Global. Stay informed, stay ahead.